Peace, love, and blessings, fam. Johnny Sally here with day number 53 of Wisdom of the Ages by Wayne W. Dyer. It's a 60-day read through, so that means we're almost done. We got about a week left, a hot 7 days. Now, if you've missed the previous recordings, catch them on TikTok, or you can look them up on YouTube at Loyalty Life, spelled L-Y-F-E, Legacy, LLC. Day number 53, individuality. Here is little Effie's head, whose brains are made of gingerbread. When the judgment day comes, God will find 6 crumbs. Stooping by the coffin lid, waiting for something to rise, as the other somethings did, you imagine his surprise? Bellowing through the general noise, where's Effie, who was dead? To God, in a tiny voice, I am, May, the first crumb said. Whereupon its fellow 5 crumbs chuckled as if they were alive, and number 2 took up the song, Might I'm called and did no wrong? Cried the 3rd crumb, I am should, and this is my little sister could. With our big brother, who is wood, don't punish us, for we were good. And the last crumb, with some shame, whispered unto God, my name is Must, and with the others I've been Effie, who isn't alive. Just imagine it, I say, God amid a monstrous den. Watch your step and follow me, stooped by Effie's little inn. Want a match? Or can you see? Which the 6 subjunctive crumbs twitch like mutilated thumbs. Picture his peering biggest way. Colored face on which a frown puzzles, but I know the way. Nervously, whose eyes approve the blessed while his ears are crammed with the strenuous music of the innumerable campering damned. Staring wildly up and down, the here we are now, judgment day. Cross the threshold, have no dread, lift the sheep back in its way. Here is little Effie's head, whose brains are made of gingerbread. E. Cummings. Man, I'm not going to... Me reading that made no sense. After I'm done with this, I'm definitely going to have to find this poem and hear how it sounds, because of how it's written, it's structured, how it should be read. Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me, but I'm just going to, that's just me being honest. Because I write poetry, so I don't know if it's a different quatrain that's being used or something like that. But yeah, that's E. Cummings. One of the most gifted and independent poets of his era, American poet E. Cummings wrote lyrical poems, humorous character sketches, and bitter satires on the foibles and institutions of his time. To appreciate E. Cummings fully, it helps to know that the energy of his poem derived from his extremely strong, iconoclastic sense of individualism. He was a student of Ralph Waldo Emerson's strong dissertation against established authority, self-reliance. While serving in Europe during World War I, he was interned in a detention camp by his own army because of his friendship with an American who was critical of the war effort. The French censor deemed him potentially dangerous because he had a mind of his own. He even went so far as to legally change his name to lowercase letters only. And he mostly used lowercase in his poetry, also using eccentric punctuation in phrases. I noticed that as I was looking in the book. Now there's other elements that I could delve into, but wonder if that was going on back then. He spent 36 days touring Russia, confirming his distaste for collectivism and further strengthening his already firm resolve about the importance of thinking for oneself and resisting authority, particularly when it demands conformity. This poem, the story of God greeting Effie on Judgment Day, has long been a particular favorite of mine. It speaks directly to Cummings' steadfast belief in New England descent and self-sufficiency. I love the image of the divine creator of all. You know, I choose to say that over God, which is a title, but continue. I'll say it if it needs to fit like in the poem, but you know, for those who understand and know me and have watched some of the other previous videos, I've explained that. But I continue. It divinely speaks to Cummings' steadfast belief in New English descent and self-sufficiency. I love the image of the divine creator of all stooping by the coffin lid and being surprised when there is no Effie. Her brainless self has been supplanted by the poet's 6 symbols of empty-headedness, which Cummings calls 6 crumbs. These crumbs of gingerbread are what Effie has left for a brain. And he asks us all to look at how often we employ these crumbs of conformity in place of our individuality. The first crumb's name is May, one of the innumerable campering damned, as Cummings calls his 6 symbols of being dead in the head. May needs to seek permission of others to act, as in, may I please have your blessings as well as your indulgence in allowing me to be or do anything. This word may symbolizes self-doubt and the other tendency to seek validation in the approval and authority of others. To always use it, says Cummings, is to substitute gingerbread for your brain. Number 2 crumb's name is might, whose way of life is it might have been. Might also is synonymous with may, asking, might I have permission of others? In either case, the tendency to behave in these obsequious ways, O-B-E-S, sorry about that, O-B-S-E-Q-U-I-O-U-S, obsequious ways symbolized by may and might are inclinations the poet asks us to challenge strenuously. Otherwise, be at peril of having no substance for the divine creator to greet on Judgment Day. Crumbs 3, 4, and 5 are the rhyming triplets of a way of life that is vacant and barren of personal power. Should is the term we use when we refer to our past actions from a wishful perspective. Here, we take an action and assess it not on the basis of what we did, but on how we should have done it. In our reality system, though, you can never should have done anything. You cannot should have been here last week. Today, it's impossible. I told the taxi driver after he said, the weather's beautiful here this week, but you should have been here last week. Those who live exclusively with their shoulds are living an impossibly empty life, using up present moments, commiserating over what they should or shouldn't have done. Little sister could and big brother would are indications that a vacancy sign is displayed because the brain's owner is unavailable. Little sisters could and big brother would, connected with should, the rhyming triplets, are indications that a vacancy sign is displayed because the brain's owner is unavailable. That's heavy. These 3 siblings' way of life involves despair as they hope and debate decision and action. I would do it if only I could. Has both siblings making excuses in the same sentence, explaining away a lack of initiative and action. When they are used in an interrogatory fashion, such as, would it be all right, or could I please have permission, they are gingerbread substituting for a clear, decisive mind. When they are used as explanations for why something didn't work out, they are still the stuff of empty-headedness. The last, with some shame, gives his name as must. the final symbol of a barren cupboard. This is the crumb that is used to explain all the obligations you have to live up to, the demands and expectations of others. I must do this because they will be disappointed if I don't. I must do as I am programmed to do or I'll collapse. My friend and teacher Albert Ellis refers to this impulse as masturbating. There, we have the 6 indices of a head that is so unoccupied that the divine creator stoops in surprise as he waits for something to rise. Here, instead of a personal inventory of excuses that we employ far more frequently than we are aware, it often seems natural to seek permission and ask to be authorized rather than to take control of one's life. When we say, "May I?" we are really saying, "I don't trust myself to take the necessary steps, so I'll just turn my life over to someone else." To Cummings, this is the same as having no brain, or at best to be brain dead, and instead have gingerbread crumbs where divine creator intended there to be a thinking person. When we discuss what we should have done, or what we could have done, or what we would have done, we are not tuned into our reality system. No one could have done anything differently than they did. Period. No one should have done anything any different, and no one ever would have done it differently regardless of any and all circumstances. I know that's a heavy one, because there's plenty of times even I myself have been like, you know what, in my past I would have done it this way, I thought I could have done it this way, and I don't feel I speak like that much now, but yeah, that's some inventory I'm gonna have to do later. Okay, no one should have done anything any different, and no one ever would have done it differently regardless of any and all circumstances. We did it. Period. You can learn from all that you have done, but woulding, coulding, and shoulding are clearly impossible in this moment. Using the 3 rhyming triplets is like substituting gingerbread crumbs for your own thinking process. You don't have to masturbate. You are free to direct your own life in your own fashion, irrespective of all of those who have laid musts on you in the past. Don't let yourself be an Effie whom the divine creator won't be able to find when you depart this world. You have been given a brain and a capacity to think and act based on your use of that remarkable organ. Don't let it deteriorate into a few crumbs by employing those 6 symbols of empty-headedness. To put the thoughts of this acerbic and strongly individualistic poet to work in your life, begin the process with these ideas. 1. Catch yourself as you are about to say any of the 6 crumbs by first becoming aware of your use of these terms. You will then be able to remove them not only from your vocabulary, but from your life as well. 2. Do not be a permission seeker when it comes to the important dealings of your life. Rather than saying, "May I attend that seminar?" And I'm sure there's going to be one coming up soon. Or, "Would it be all right if I went to this luncheon?" State your intentions in declarative sentences. Say, "I will be attending this meeting," or "I have scheduled this luncheon on my calendar. Would you care to join me?" 3. Let go of your attachment to responsibilities that others have given you without your consent. Now, if you sign up for it on your own, you and only you are the one to be making the choices about your own responsibilities, and you have no shoulds to live up to unless they are your decisions. Turn your shoulds and musts into your own personal options and carry them out with with a strong sense of your own character, strength, and most important, aliveness. No gingerbread for you, or me, or us, or we, or them, or they, or him, or she. Yeah, I just felt led to do that. It was a nice little ditty bop. Nice little, we're just gonna move on. So, decisiveness is very important in life and evolution and growth and change, because those that move with indecisiveness are always so torn between multiple decisions that they don't realize their indecision is a decision. Especially when it comes to healing. I deal with a lot of individuals who don't realize they're not putting the truest intention will towards their growth and change. And I've told people some of the things that I've done or do in the morning, and they have definitely patted me on the back and made me realize that, I may do more than the average. But when Sri Master said last night that in order to remove ourselves from the HDP, which comes with a lot of coulda, woulda, and shoulda, he said 70% of your daily life has to be around spirituality. I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near 75%, but I do feel as you continue to grow spiritually, every step of your waking life becomes a spiritual experience, a spiritual adventure, so to speak. When you begin to move in decisiveness, especially in trusting your intuition, then things just flow naturally. You show up at places at 12:12 or 11:11. You get numerical codes given to you in almost every shape, fashion, or form. Your birthday, an address number, a family member's birthday, certain codings that you have with certain divine beings and angels. And I just implore you to begin to be more decisive in your life. If somebody asks you a question, don't just give over the reins and say, oh, you know what, I don't care, it doesn't matter. No, make a firm choice. Now, even saying, I have no choice, whatever you choose, is different than saying, oh, it doesn't matter, because it's more lackadaisical, as if you just don't care. Care about your life. Care about your growth. Care about your change. Care about the decisions that you make. I thank you for caring enough to be here for yourself more than anything else. I ask that you walk in love, walk in light, walk in peace, and know that you are loved. It didn't turn off. My bad. I'd be using this little remote. It didn't turn off. So walk in love.